What is happening right now is shocking. Some scientists are finding evidence that could completely change our perception of the universe and its origin. Today, we will talk about a topic that has generated debates for centuries. Does God exist? For us, the believers, the answer is clear. But what would happen if science itself confirmed what we know by our faith? What you are going to hear will be very revealing, especially if you thought that science and faith could not coexist. To understand the depth of the recent discoveries that have led some scientists to reconsider the idea of a creator, we must start with a basic but fundamental concept, the principle of causality. This principle establishes that every effect has a cause. That is, that nothing happens without a reason. This concept has not only been essential for the development of natural sciences, but it also helps us to understand deeper questions about the existence of the universe and our place in it. From the point of view of science, the principle of causality has allowed great advances. Thanks to it, scientists have been able to study how the laws of physics work, how galaxies are formed, and how life is developed. However, this principle also opens the door to broader reflections. If every effect has a cause, what or who is the cause of everything that exists? This is where the principle of causality connects with theology and philosophy. This principle not only explains the order of the universe, but also points to the idea of an intelligent creator, someone who designed everything with purpose and coherence. In Christian theology, God is identified as the first cause, and God is the first cause, or the motionless motor, a concept developed by the philosopher and theologian St. Thomas Aquinas in his work Summa Theologica. According to this idea, everything that exists has a cause. If we continue to track this chain of causes, inevitably we reach a point where there must be something that was not caused by anything else. A cause that is eternal and independent, that gave rise to, and that cause, according to Aquinas, is God. This reasoning is not exclusive to religion. Even within philosophy, thinkers of different eras have explored the idea that the universe, with all its order and precision, cannot simply be the product of chance. Science itself, when looking for answers about the origin of the universe, faces a limit where questions become philosophical. If the universe has a beginning, what caused it? If the laws of physics are so perfect, who established them? The universe seems to be designed with incredible precision. From the physical constants that allow life to the way in which matter and energy interact, everything points to a system that is, at least, extraordinarily improbable, if it were the result of simple coincidences. This leads us to a reflection that we will explore later. What scientific evidence exists that reinforces the idea that behind this precise design there is a creative intelligence? When we reflect on the relationship between the universe and God, it is essential to start with a clear definition. In general terms, God is understood as a supreme being, the creator and origin of everything that exists. This concept is not necessarily linked to organized religions. Even ideas such as pantheism see God as a manifestation of the whole universe, an omnipresent presence in each part of creation. One of the most common philosophical questions is, who created God? This question, although logical from our human perspective, is part of a fundamental error. Assuming that the laws of the universe, such as time, space, and causality, apply beyond the universe itself, if God is considered the creator of the universe, it would be logical to think that he is out of space and time, not limited by the restrictions of the Big Bang or the physical laws that govern our reality. In this vision, God is eternal, without a beginning or an end, existing beyond the human notions of time and space. It is important to remember that categories such as before or after lose meaning outside the universe. Since time itself began with the Big Bang, which is the most accepted theory about the origin of the universe, was not an explosion as it is often imagined, but a rapid expansion from a state of extremely high density and temperature. This idea was presented by Georges Lemaitre, a devout Catholic and astrophysicist priest who described this event as the atomic primordial, or the beginning of the observable universe. Lemaitre himself saw the Big Bang as compatible with his faith in a creator, considering the expansion of the universe as a manifestation of the work of God. This perspective leads us to a deeper reflection. The universe, with all its perfect laws, its complexity, and its order, seems to be the result of something bigger than itself. If the Big Bang marks the beginning of everything we know, who or what started it? For many, the answer is in an eternal creator that transcends our understanding. A being that does not need to be created because it is the source of all creation. The fact that science describes the Big Bang as the beginning of the universe does not conflict with the idea of a creator. Rather, the two approaches address different aspects of the same reality. And this is backed up by remembering that Georges Lemaitre himself, the father of the Big Bang theory, was a Catholic priest who saw in this theory a compatibility with his faith. For him, The expansion of the universe was not an obstacle to believing God, but a confirmation that the universe had a beginning designed by a transcendent mind. Science is an incredibly powerful tool to understand the world around us. It is based on observation, analysis, and experimentation to build a reliable knowledge of natural phenomena. But like any tool, it has its limitations, many of which come from human nature and can only be used in a certain way. It's a perception of the universe. La ciencia se define como un conjunto de conocimientos obtenidos y medios a través del análisis y observación. Esto significa que está limitada por lo que podemos observar y medir. Aunque hemos desarrollado tecnología avanzada para ampliar nuestra percepción, como telescopios y microscopios, nuestra capacidad sigue siendo restringida por las leyes físicas without special instruments. In the same way, our auditory range is limited to certain sound frequencies. These limitations suggest the possibility that there are energies, frequencies, or dimensions that we are simply not able to detect with the current tools. If reality includes phenomena that operate outside of our perceptual or technological capacities, then we would be at risk. This recognition of our limitations has led many scientists to adopt a posture of humility in the face of the unknown. The physicist and mathematician Sir Isaac Newton expressed this idea brilliantly when he said, "Lo que sabemos es lo que sabemos." It's a drop of water. What we ignore is the ocean. This phrase encapsulates the immensity of the unknown compared to what science has managed to discover so far. Although our advances have been extraordinary, there is still a lot to explore, understand, and discover. This recognition of the limits of science does not devalue it, but enriches it, reminding us that it is just one of the ways to get closer to knowledge. It also leaves space to reflect on issues that go beyond the scope of scientific observation, such as the ultimate purpose of the universe, the meaning of life, or the existence of a creator. In this context, it is possible to see how science and spirituality can coexist. Science allows us to explore the how of the universe, while spirituality or philosophy seek to understand the why. As we continue to advance, these two forms of knowledge can complement each other to offer us a more complete and profound vision of the world and our existence. It is often believed that science and religion are in constant conflict, but this simplistic vision does not reflect reality. One of the most persistent myths is that science belongs exclusively to the field of atheism, as if scientific advances were incompatible with faith. But history and current data show us that this idea is far from being true. Some of the most important scientists in history were not only believers but also atheists. Sino que encontraron en su fe una fuente de inspiración para sus descubrimientos. Isaac Newton, considerado uno de los padres de la ciencia moderna, era profundamente religioso y veía el estudio de las leyes del universo como una forma de entender la obra de Dios. Gregor Mendel, the founder of genetics, was an Augustine monk whose work in the monastery gave rise to one of the most fundamental branches of biology. Louis Pasteur, a pioneer in microbiology, firmly believed in a creator and expressed his faith on numerous occasions. Even today, the relationship between science and religion is more complex than it is usually portrayed. According to a study by the Pew Research Center, only 41% of scientists identify themselves as atheists, while the rest declare themselves to be agnostic or have some type of religious belief. This means that most scientists do not see an unsolvable conflict between science and spirituality. In addition, numerous Nobel Prizes throughout history have had religious beliefs, such as John Eccles in medicine, Arthur Shallow in physics, and many others. This panorama shows that science is not an exclusive domain of atheism, nor religion a space of rejection of scientific knowledge. Many scientists find in their faith a motivation to explore and better understand the universe, while others see in the advances of science a confirmation of the extraordinary and wonderful future. The militant atheism, which not only denies the existence of God, but actively advocates the eradication of religion, has gained visibility in recent years. But this position, which presents itself as a defense of rationality and progress, often incurs in conceptual errors and simplifications. In addition, this approach ignores the fact that many religious positions have incorporated evolution into their beliefs. For example, the Catholic Church accepts evolution as compatible with faith in a creator. For them, evolution is simply the mechanism by which God directs the development of life. This shows that there is no intrinsic contradiction between faith and science. This video, CIA. For example, the regimes of the Soviet Union, China, and Cambodia in the 20th century adopted openly anti-religious policies, destroying places of worship, persecuting believers, and promoting compulsory atheism as part of their political agendas. In Cambodia, under the regime of the Red Twins, religion was practically eradicated and spiritual leaders were brutally persecuted. It is true that the crimes committed in the name of atheism do not make atheism inherently violent, in the same way that the atrocities committed in the name of religion do not make faith harmful. However, militant atheism falls into hypocrisy when it uses history to attack religion, while it overlooks these dark episodes. Both religion and atheism can be used to justify positive or destructive actions. The militant atheism, like any extremist position, tends to simplify complex issues such as faith, science, and morality. The reality is that many believers accept scientific advances and at the same time find meaning in their spirituality, while not all atheists adopt a radically anti-religious position. The key is to foster a respectful dialogue that recognizes the diversity of perspectives instead of polarizing them. Ultimately, criticizing religion as the only source of conflicts or ignoring the historical implications of militant atheism are reductive positions that do not contribute to mutual understanding. Recognizing the strengths and weaknesses of both perspectives, it can lead to a more harmonious coexistence and a deeper exploration of the great mysteries of existence. Throughout this analysis, we have explored how the principle of causality, which establishes that every effect has a cause, reinforces the idea of a transcendent origin for the universe. Creation itself speaks to us of an order and a perfection that cannot be the result of chance. La ciencia es la ciencia. With its discoveries on the Big Bang, the expansion of the universe, and the laws that govern nature, it points us to a starting point for everything that exists. This beginning, far from being a simple coincidence, requires a cause. According to the principle of causality, which affirms that every effect has a cause, this first cause cannot be part of the universe itself, but it must be something out of time and space. The Bible states from the beginning, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth." Genesis 1. This message aligns perfectly with what science has revealed to us. The universe had a beginning. And if he had a beginning, he had a creator. This first cause, which Christian theology identifies as God, not only created the universe but sustains it in harmony with its divine will. The Apostle Paul wrote, "Because the invisible things of him, his eternal power and deity, become clearly visible from the creation of the world, being understood, he does." This reminds us that although science cannot empirically prove God, scientific discoveries reflect the greatness of his design. Creation itself is a testimony of his power, love, and wisdom. Ultimately, the existence of God is not only coherent with the principle of causality, but also of God. Sino que de sentido e la belleza y al orden del universo la ciencia la chose de contradecir la fe cristiana, it is a tool that allows us to be even more amazed at the work of the Creator. As believers, this invites us to reflect on the greatness of God and to seek a deeper relationship with Him, the author of all that is visible and invisible. The fundamental question that arises is what or who is the cause of all this? If we trace the chain of causes and effects, we come to a first cause. A being eternal and out of time and space that began everything that exists. This reasoning, compatible both with philosophy and scientific advances, points to the possibility of a creator whose existence is coherent with logic and scientific observation. Although science cannot prove God, it is perfectly consistent with the principles that guide our understanding of the cosmos. In short, both reason and science leave us space to reflect on the greatness and purpose of creation, and in that space, the existence of God, the Creator, is presented not only as possible, but also as a profoundly coherent explanation of the mystery of the universe. For joining us until the end. If you like this content, consider supporting the channel to reach more people. Now, on the screen will appear 2 recommendations especially for you. I invite you to explore them and continue discovering more exciting themes. May God bless you. Amen.